Okay, everybody, it's 2:30 and I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Thursday, March 24th, Board of Health meeting 2022. Just like to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded by video and audio. And pursuant to the governor's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and extended to April 1st, 2022. Any Nantucket public body that holds a meeting can do so via Zoom video conferencing. The video conference will be shown on Nantucket's Government TV YouTube page, which allows for the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. Attendees must register to participate. The registration link is unique to the meeting. The registration link can be found in the description of the Nantucket Government TV YouTube live feed for the meeting. People registering to be an attendee must use their names. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to participate in the discussion. Attendees will join in listening mode. They can click the raise hand button if they wish to speak. The chair will call on those who have raised their hands in order they were raised. If you do not have an audio capable device, the Q&A button can be used to type a question. The YouTube chat will no longer be enabled. Any questions that cannot be verbally asked must use the Q&A function. All questions should be directed through the chair. And for roll call purposes, I'll start with, for attendance, I'll start with board members first. Jimmy Cooper.
Here.
Malcolm McNabb.
Here.
Meredith Lepre.
Here.
Health Director.
Here.
Kathy Flynn, Health Director.
Kathy, can't hear you.
Got you.
Now? Oh, hang on.
No, we can hear you now.
Okay. Here.
Okay, Kathy LaFave, Health Agent.
Present.
Jake Visco, Health Agent.
Yeah.
John Hedden, Health Agent.
Yes, although Kathy Flynn's also the health director too.
Yeah, well, a little mess up there.
Rapid promotion.
And we also
Congratulations.
we also have attending Dan Malloy from Site Design.
Present.
And Don Bracken from Bracken Engineering.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing on the agenda. Is there any public comment, anything that's not on the agenda that the people would like to, anybody would like to talk about? I don't think I see, you see any hands, Roberta? No. Okay, we'll move on to director's report.
Yes, so the two big ones I'll connect at the end, just PFAS and COVID. But moving forward, one of the things that we're going at is a town meeting. What is that, May? I'm blanking out on the date. So the town at town meeting, we have a couple articles that are going to be up for discussion that we need to discuss in the April Board of Health meeting. One of them is really simple. It's we're asking to add a couple people. So the environmental contaminant person, which is going to be specifically for things like PFAS. This person will be overseeing the general PFAS discussion, as well as a public information officer that will be adding to be shared with Natural Resources Department. And we're going to be refunding Artel's old position as well. So that's kind of a no-brainer on that one. The other article that we need to we'll need to discuss is the plastics ban. There's an alteration for the plastics ban that's on the floor. So we'll have to discuss that. Usually we just vote to support or not support the article. This one is just to change a few things there. Bruce has asked to remove nip bottles, which is going to be a big deal, and plastic filters for cigarettes. So these are two big changes by stopping nips and plastic cigarette filters. That's going to be a big alteration to the plastics bylaw. And then the other one that we need to look into and discuss is the short-term rental bylaw. So I'll have copies of both of those regulations and articles so that we can put it on discussion for the April meeting and vote. And with that, I'll keep that one short and sweet.
Thanks. Review of the minutes. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, then I get a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor by roll call, Jim Cooper,
yes.
Malcolm McNabb,
Yes.
Meredith Lepre,
Yes.
and Steve Visco says yes. Okay, variance request for 11 Osprey.
So for the applicant is Dan Malloy. I'll let the engineers do their things first.
All right, good afternoon, Dan Malloy, Site Design Engineering for the applicant. So we're in the Hummock Pond watershed. We're looking for a bedroom credit variance. The site is just over 43,000 square feet. The property has an existing 4-bedroom septic permit, and we're looking to expand that to a 6-bedroom using IA system technologies. Something the board has granted before in this watershed, not too far upstream, actually, in Hummock Pond Road. The specific sections are 56.02A and 64.04B, and both have to do with the 1-bedroom per 10,000 square feet lot area allowance. That is it. So we're going from a 4 to a 6 with a net benefit going with the IA system. And the septic is also outside the 300-foot pond buffer. So there's no other waivers, no dimensional relief requested. There's no conservation issues related to this application.
Any questions for Dan? Okay, pretty standard. I've had a chance to look at it. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? I'm sure they did, right?
Yes.
A motion to approve?
I'll make
So
that.
moved.
Okay,
Second, okay, by roll call vote, Jim Cooper,
yes.
Malcolm McNabb,
Yes.
Meredith Lepre.
Did we hear what the health department, did you guys say you agreed with this?
Oh, yeah, we have no objection. I think Kathy is here for any questions.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, thanks. And Steve Visco says yes. Okay, next one. Oh, one up, which is, thanks, Dan. 30 Winoma, we still having that on there, Roberto?
Yeah, this one's on the agenda. Sorry, Don, that we had it on the agenda
Right.
again. This permit has already been approved and sent out, so this was actually put on the agenda by mistake. Our apologies. Doesn't require any action by the board right now.
Yeah, so we'll skip by that one. Okay, we have got a variance request for 5 Sheep Commons, nitrogen loading, local board of health reg 6404B.
Yes, and I
I think
believe
that's gone too, right?
that's Don. I believe.
Yes. Like, for the record, Don Bracken Engineering. This is the last vacant lot in the subdivision. The subdivision was created back in like 1989. It was actually made up of 22 lots, 11 lots off of Sheep Commons Lane, and 11 lots off of our, what is it, Moore's End, which is now on town sewer. But at the time, it was prior to any restriction on the number of bedrooms based on lot area. But post 1995, after those regulations, most of these lots were given 4-bedroom septic system approvals, given the fact that there's the open space around these lots in total was about 1.8 acres or something like that per lot. So if a nitrogen aggregate plan had been done, back in those days, you'd be allowed something like 8 bedrooms on each lot, but that was never done. There was no foresight to do that at the time. Similar variance was granted for a vacant lot back in 2017 for the same proposal for a 4-bedroom septic system on basically a half-acre lot. This lot is over 27,000 square feet. And with the IA system, it would comply with Title V for 4 bedrooms for nitrogen loading purposes. But because we're in the zone B, the Nantucket Harbor watershed area, we don't meet the 1 per 10,000 regardless of having an IA system or not. So, we gave a list of reasons why we thought it should be granted. And hopefully you agree. We're 5,800 feet from the Nantucket Harbor. It's a very long distance. There are no groundwater issues. And I think this would be consistent with past approvals in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Kathy?
Chair, I agree with Dawn. Of course, under current regulations, they'd only get 2 bedrooms on the 27,000. But after Dawn, Mr. Bracken submitted it, I did some research on the rest of the neighborhood, and certainly there was the one that was just the other lot that was just given the extra bedroom flow a couple of years ago. And all the other lots I looked at, typically they're 3 or 4 bedrooms. I believe there's 1 5-bedroom within that neighborhood. But I think given the history of this and with the land, there shouldn't be an issue with proceeding with what's been done in the past and granting the variance.
We had this similar situation out in Fisher's Landing with the vacant lots that were still left.
Exactly.
Does anybody have any questions for Dawn or? Yeah, seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the variance?
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Second,
Okay, all in favor by roll call vote, Jim Cooper,
Yes.
Malcolm McNabb,
yes.
Leffery,
Yes.
and Steve Visco says yes. Okay, thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, variance request for 6 Nichols Road. Setback and property line.
I believe that's also Don. That's
Yep.
straightforward.
I have this one as well. Yeah, so this upgrade is being triggered by future renovations to the existing house. It has a standard old septic system with a tank and a leaching pit. Obviously no increase in the number of bedrooms because of the size of the lot, which is only 6,000 square feet. When it was originally built, the original septic system was actually, the leaching pit anyway was put in the abutting paper street or roadway. And at that time, when the plan was done, the plan showed, they called it a sewer easement going to the center of the road. It had a road on 2 sides. And we believe that's how they justified at that time putting the septic system in that area. Because they are private roads, technically, the properties abutting the road do own to the center line. We're not trying to prove that here, I don't think. I think we're just sort of going on the basis of the original approval as far as the legality of it. So this is a septic system upgrade, adding an IA system, putting in, a shallower compliant soil absorption system, keeping it on the lot as much as we possibly can. The issue here is the well location in the corner of the lot. We only have so much space to work with on our own property. So about half of it's on our lot and half of it is in Nichols Road. But it's not under the road itself, it's within the roadway layout. So designed for H20 loading in this case. So there shouldn't be anybody driving over that system as long as they stay in the road, but just in case, because it's in the roadway, we designed it for H20. So overall, I think it's a, you know, a big improvement from what's out there right now. I'd be happy to answer questions.
I have a question.
Hey, Jim.
Does anybody else, that's a private road, so everybody has a say in what happens in that private road?
I'm on Zoom. Not really. You by the derelict fee in Massachusetts, you own to the center line, but everyone that has rights in the road still has rights in the road to use it for utilities and, you know, pass back and forth. Not to say that somebody down the road, if they wanted to widen the road for whatever reason, you know, and they had the rights to do that, they could still, you know, exercise their rights in the right of way.
So you wouldn't need it, you wouldn't need permission from anyone else on that road?
No, we wouldn't. No.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Meredith?
What do you mean not in the road, but in the roadway? So
So not
where,
in the, I should have been clear, not the proposed soil absorption system is not in the traveled roadway, the dirt road that's there, which is only about 12 or 13 feet wide. But the roadway layout itself, where the actual limits of the right of way are, that's 40 feet wide. So
Okay.
there's like a 10 to 12 foot strip between the road and the street line, and that's the area we're working in.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Dawn?
Is,
Oh, go ahead, Meredith.
is this something that we typically approve? Because, like, what if they decided to widen the road? How would that affect the system? I mean, I don't know that that would happen, but I'm just curious.
That's why we, you know, we specified a design for heavy duty loading. So if they did widen it, I can't imagine they would widen it enough to go over where the system is, but just to protect the entire right of way, if there was ever a vehicle utilizing that right of way, it could handle traffic, you know, normal traffic.
So let me ask another question then. If they did, you're right, I know exactly, I can't take a house on that road, and they probably never would open it up to 40 foot, but let's say we give them permission, and for some crazy reason, they did open it up to that far, with the town or anyone make him move that?
No, because you could build a road over the system the way it's
Oh.
designed.
All right, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I believe that, you know, you're using concrete chambers there,
Yeah,
right?
specifically. Yeah.
All right,
There's a lot of places in Tom Nevers, especially on Winoma Way, where the leach areas, at least 3 or 4 of the houses are in the middle of the paved surface out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's what's there is a lot better than what's in there now. So
okay,
I get a motion to approve the variance.
I'll make that motion.
Get a second.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, roll call. Jim Cooper,
Yes,
Malcolm McNabb,
Yes,
Meredith Leprey,
Yes,
and Steve Visco says yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Okay, variance request for 105 Tom Nevers Road, nitrogen loading aggregate plan.
Yes, and I believe for the applicant, Jerry Bozanovsky's here. And I believe Ken Gellison is also representing the applicant.
Okay, thank you. This is Jerry Bozanovsky. I'm representing my client, Brian and Don Kelly. I'd like to start by saying we're not actually looking for a variance to either Title V or local regulations. What we're requesting is the approval of a facility aggregation plan in accordance with Section 216 of Title V. Our clients desire to construct a 4-bedroom residence at 105 Tom Nevers Road, a property that until recently had a 3-bedroom approved system on it, and residence was recently removed from the site. The problem here is the client's desire to construct a 4-bedroom house, and the previous system was a 3-bedroom system. And the property is 1,000 square feet shy of having enough area for a 4-bedroom system with nitrogen removal. So what we are proposing is to supplement that 1,000 square feet by taking a nitrogen loading restriction and easement over adjacent property at 107. And that would give 105 enough land with IA construction for the 4-bedroom system. Our submittal shows where that easement would be. I assume the board has that plan in front of them to see where that 1,000 square feet would come from. And the way this works is we go to the local approval authority first to get approval conceptually. With the board's approval, we will execute those documents, record or register those documents and the easement itself, and then resubmit to the board proof of that execution and recording.
Any questions for Jerry? Go ahead.
I
Jerry.
have a question, Steve.
Go ahead.
Would it be simpler where the owner owns both of those lots to just basically with paperwork transfer that 1,000 square feet to the other lot and be done with it?
If both of those lots were not pre-existing non-conforming lots, that would be the way to go. But I believe the State Zoning Act would not allow us to make any lot less conforming than it already is. So it was quite of a balancing act, for the surveyor to draw these new lines so that both lots retain the exact amount of area that they had previous.
Okay.
I have a question. And I see now the 107 is basically a 22,000 square foot lot, which will only be able to support a 3-bedroom septic there, correct?
Correct. And then and that would be with IA as well.
IA. Right.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead, Kathy.
I just wanted to make one comment. I've just looked at this plan a little bit, and the only thing, depending on if the board, votes in favor of this, I would just request that in that recorded document, they limit the bedrooms on the document. They add a verbiage. I don't think it's on it, but it might be, just to say, I believe it's 105. We could limit that to 4 bedrooms. And the 107 would be limited to 3 bedrooms. If that would be possible to add to the document.
That if it hasn't already been included, that definitely would be possible. I think that is one of the requirements of that section of Title V, is that these nitrogen loading restrictions and easements also include that bedroom restriction.
Right. Thank you, Jerry.
And this isn't uncommon. This has happened on a few places off the top of my head. Opus Road, a couple other places, maybe Quidnet Road. So it's not unusual to do this. Any Meredith?
So there's already 3 bedrooms on 107, and it can have more. Is that, I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
What else? The house on 107 is it's actually going to be moved to a different location on 107, and we are constructing a new system, a new 3-bedroom system for that. Yes, to answer your question, there is a permit for a 3-bedroom system at that location now, and we would be reapplying for that 3-bedroom system with IA.
Okay, it says on the GIS that they have 4 bedrooms in that house. That's not,
I don't think that's correct. Yeah.
so,
And
What-
I'm sorry.
so you're just trying, it's all owned by one person and they're trying to take 1,000 feet from the other lot to make it so that the back house can have 4
Yeah,
bedrooms?
I guess the ownership is 2 distinct entities, but it's essentially the same people. I guess is what it boils down to. So it's easy for them to make these to grant one easement from one property to the other. But the board will see the floor plans for whatever is going to get moved and renovated on lot 107. So you will have the opportunity to make a decision as to whether what you're seeing is 3 or more bedrooms, and it will have to be limited to 3.
So will both systems be IA?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Jerry? or
Oh.
staff?
I think if the bedrooms are capped, as Kathy expressed, I have no problem.
Take a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Take a second.
Second,
Okay, all in favor by roll call, Jim Cooper,
Yes,
Malcolm McNabb,
Yes,
Meredith Lepre,
yes.
and Steve Visco says yes. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go back to Roberto.
So, thank you. Ken, I think your microphone's still live. There we go. So real quick with the PFAS update, there's been a lot of movement here. I mentioned earlier that we will be adding a position into this coming fiscal year to help work with all sorts of environmental contaminant issues, including PFAS. But moving forward, I noticed the recent announcement, the school is going to put the turf on hold, and I know that there's going to be a lot of discussion about that in the next few years. To my knowledge, there is discussion about bringing it back next year, but that does not sound fruitful from some of the discussions that we're having, that it might be just moved to straight grass from now on for the foreseeable future. One of the things about that we're looking at is right now we have the town actually of Nantucket and the airport in conjunction have actually done a lot of work on PFAS, more so than most other towns here, to the point that we have been having discussions with the state and with our consultants. And one of the things that we've come up with is just, it's better for us as a town to just slow down a little bit until some of the regulations from the state and the EPA have caught up, because every time we call them, when we call the state or we look to do something, they say we're working on these things. So if we were to jump the gun and pass our own regulations or things like that, either our regulations become moot or our regulations would be downright wrong. So that's kind of what where we're at, where we're just kind of at a, for a lack of a better word, at a standstill here. And then there's another thing. Oh, that's actually another town meeting article that we're going to have to bring up. The select board has voted to put the expansion of the water system west of the airport on the town meeting article. It's something that would help prevent, PFAS from entering or other contaminants from entering the drinking water system. And then on Monday, this coming Monday, I forgot which university they're coming from, but the PFAS Action Group has been able to secure a study on the firefighters' gear for how much fire retardants, flame retardants, flame retardants and water proofing on the equipment there is. So on Monday, the 28th, I believe that is, yes, the 28th, this professor will be here, Dr. Karen, to do this sampling to make sure to find out exactly how much PFAS gets shed in firefighter equipment. So that's good. We're actually getting good research done, and we'll have good data there. And lastly, I know that in the last few conversations we've been having is we want to see more data on the turf, and the Dr. Peasley has a article in peer review right now, and he claims to have that out relatively soon, where he did research on turf, specifically the products that were requested here. So we should be able to have some more hard data on that. So a surprising amount of movement in the PFAS front in the last few weeks. And with that, I'll ask you guys for questions.
I have a couple questions. One, I'm wondering about the environmental impact of the 5 gallons of concentrated AFFF that the airport spilled last week. And if we have you guys have, I guess, any comment on that? Because I think that is pretty concerning for the people that live nearby there, that are not getting put on town water because they didn't test high enough. I feel like they just contaminated their water high even more. And also, I still think that it would be important for us to make some kind of a statement on the turf. I mean, just something to put a hold on it, because the people that are pushing it are salespeople, and they're going to keep pushing it because I think they probably will make more money if they get to put the turf in than grass. So I am concerned that is going to keep getting pushed and is not healthy for us.
So as far as the 5 gallons that was used, I don't know of any specific impact yet. It was, according to the statement from the airport, they were able to keep the spill out on the asphalt and out of the groundwater, but I'll confirm that with NOAA. As far as a statement on mitigation or a moratorium, I would really recommend against it, and also really start recommending against the use of words like pushing and selling, because the people who are designing the school facility and who are designing these things are not salespeople. They are architects and engineers. This just happens to be a product that they are recommending. They're not selling it. They're not getting kickbacks from it. They're not getting incentives from it. They are fulfilling a request that as a school, the client has asked for. The discussions that we should be having is with the school, not with the engineers or architects, because they are not salespeople. We have already overstepped our use of words here, and there is already a veiled discussions of legal action if we continue to say things like pushing, bad science, industry science, salespeople, snake oil salesmen, the type of wording that we're seeing in the newspapers. So I think as we discussed at the last meeting, before we issue a statement or any sort of moratorium, we need cold, hard, empirical evidence before we issue any sort of statement like that.
Malcolm?
Mr. Chair, I support everything that Roberto just said.
Yeah.
We may get there, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, and I'll just go back to maybe, what you said in the last meeting, which, kind of stuck with me, is it's so new, and whatever the product that's newer and not enough studies out on it yet, I wouldn't want I'd like to see that, read about it too, what whoever's doing these studies on the newer stuff before we make a stand. So. Jimmy,
I'm good.
anybody else have any? Oh, we gotta, so are we gonna move on to the next agenda item then? COVID update?
So real quick, the good thing about COVID is we have, as the sewer reports are coming in, they've been consistently showing for the past 3 weeks, less than 5 cases per day. For the past 2 weeks, it's been showing less than 1 case per day. So right now we are kind of at a baseline 0. We're getting 1 or 2 cases a week from what we're seeing, which is fantastic. At this time last year, we were seeing pretty significant outbreak. The BA subvariant that we're seeing coming out of Europe has become the predominant variant in the United States as well. However, the data that we're seeing is very promising in that though there are increased numbers in cases, gross numbers are increasing, numbers of hospitalizations are not. So the symptomatically is still, the vaccine is still very effective. So some of the best news we've seen coming out of this. Dr. Walensky, who is the CDC director at this point, and she's issued a statement that we're getting closer to having this be an endemic situation. So we'll continue to monitor on island. We are moving our sewer testing to every other week starting this month. And God willing, we will be at a seasonal ebb and flow. And the worst will be behind us. This was something that will be with us for a significant amount of time. Look at flu. This flu is now 100. We've put a name to influenza now for over 100 years, calling it cold and flu season. So it's going to be very similar with COVID. I think it's here to stay, but we should be able to start we should be able to now respond to it in a seasonal ebb and flow reaction and make it be part of our annual response.
Any questions for Roberto on? No? Anybody, any other things that the board wants to talk about? Malcolm?
Just to remind the town and everyone that as the daffodils come out, the ticks come out, and we keep forgetting about the tick-borne disease issue on this island. We kind of got inundated with COVID. So please read all you can about protection. The town Board of Health Department website has some good suggestions for you. And on April 2nd, our colleagues from MIT who've been working on the genetic mice project will be on the island and will share what progress they've made in the last few months. So don't forget about tick-borne disease.
Absolutely, thank you. We did see a spike in tick-borne illnesses over the last 2 years. So we lost a lot of ground from where we were in 2019. So thank you.
Anything else? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? Meredith?
You want to adjourn?
I thought Meredith had her hand up.
Oh, I thought so.
And so
There's the
moved.
baby.
I move we adjourn.
Second,
All in favor by roll call, Jim Cooper,
yes.
Malcolm McNabb,
Yes.
Meredith Leffery,
Yes.
and Steve Visco says yes. Okay, thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you. Take care.
See you all.